Yo, 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 it's your boy, Ray Mabry. And as my title states, we're going to talk about which comes first, the buyer or the seller. I know there's been this old saying that people say, which came first, the chicken or the egg? And, there's been a huge debate, as far as which one came first, chicken or the egg. So what I'm going to discuss on today's video from a real estate investing standpoint is when you get started in this business, should you focus on building your buyers list first, or should you focus on marketing to sellers? All right. So before we get started, my name is Ray Mabry. I'm a full-time real estate entrepreneur here in the Raleigh, North Carolina area. And like some of you that may be watching me, when I started over 6 years ago, I was struggling. I was, broken, busted, and disgusted, as some people would say. And I was looking for a way out. And so I learned about this little unknown niche that a lot of people don't know about called wholesaling in the real estate market. And basically what I do is I advertise to sellers, get the property under contract, lock it up, advertise that contract to buyers. They, for a higher price, I sign them the contract to purchase the property from the buyer, the seller, and then we go to closing and I make the difference. So the seller get their amount, the buyer gets what he's paying for it, and I get the spread or the difference. Okay, that's wholesaling 101. All right, so let's talk about it. I'm going to really kind of break this thing down for you because a lot of times when we discuss, like as far as strategy or how you should operate your business, I'm a firm believer that it all kind of falls back on you. And so my response to this question, should you focus on the buyer or should you focus on the seller? I would say it depends. It depends on you. I'm gonna give you a couple of examples of the pros and cons of each strategy, whether you decide to go after the buyer first or the seller. So let's say let's go with the buyers list first. In my opinion, if you're just getting started in this business and let's say you have very limited resources, no money, just more time than money per se, I would highly recommend you build your buyers list first. Build your buyers list first. And one of the simplest ways to build a buyers list is through social media. In particular, you go and you join a lot of these Facebook groups and you can kind of go through and look at the history, depending on where you're located. You can do a search in the group and you can search certain keywords, like maybe your city or maybe a certain zip code. And what you would do is you would find some old posts that other investors may have, put a property out there and they were looking for buyers to purchase that property. And so what I recommend you do, if you see that and somebody raised their hand and say, hey, I'm a buyer in that zip code, then you can just shoot them a message, either through Messenger, or if they left their email address, you can send them an email address and just introduce yourself. Hey, my name is Ray Mabry. I'm a beginning real estate investor. I see that you're interested in a property in this zip code or property in this neighborhood. Just wanted to reach out to you to first of all introduce myself, but then also to see if you're still buying or and then once you strike up the conversation with them, you can kind of build your rapport with them, of course, and find out what other areas they may be buying in. Okay, but either way, that is a simple way to build your buyers list. I know there's several different strategies, but that's the number one tip I would give you is to build a buyers list quickly. Just go to Facebook groups and search what other people have posted and see about getting buyers that way. There are other strategies you can do within those Facebook groups, but that's just one tip I want to give you about finding your buyers, building your buyers list first. And then once you find a buyer and they tell you whether they're interested in purchasing, then you can start kind of marketing to those particular areas because if you find a good deal, the likelihood is great that you will sell it to that buyer or someone like that person. So that's how I would find buyers. That's what I would do if I had limited funds or no funds at all. I would start with the buyers list. Now, as far as the sellers, if you have some type of marketing money, some type of budget, and it can range, from a couple $100s to a couple $1,000. If you have that at your disposal, I would definitely say focus on the sellers first. And the reason I say focus on the sellers first is because, in my opinion, when you find a motivated seller and you negotiate a deal and you lock their deal up under contract, then you are in control. That contract you have is what I refer to as an asset, A-S-S-E-T, an asset. And the reason it's an asset because that contract, which is what you're going to be advertising, not the property because you don't own the property, you're going to be advertising that asset for sale, or that contract for sale, which is an asset, and that will allow you to be able to make whatever amount you increase it. So as my example, as I stated before, you say you put a property on the contract for $50,000, it's worth $100,000. That's 50 cents on the dollar. And let's say you mark it up 10,000. So you're advertising this property, or advertising, you have the contract and you advertising for $60,000. So you got $10,000 spread. And let's say when everything is said and done, you agree with the buyer, the end buyer, that they agree to take it for $58,000. So now you're making $8,000 off that contract, that asset, and you basically market it to a motivated seller. You negotiate it. Sometimes you can get deals off the bat. A lot of times you're going to have to follow up with them constantly. But at the end of the day, you still created revenue. You still created income to where you end up netting $8,000. $8,000 from doing the marketing. So in my opinion, if you got some money at your disposal, I would highly, highly recommend go out to sellers first. And then once you start advertising those contracts, and that, hey, I got properties and under contract, and I'm assigning these contracts, then what that would do is help you build your buyers list. So now technically you're killing two birds with one stone, because you have the asset, the contract, but then you can take that contract, put it out there, and say go to some of those Facebook groups that I was talking about before, advertise that contract or that deal in the group, and then you're gonna have buyers raising their hands, say, hey, I'm interested, send me more information. And that's an easy way you can build your buyers list. So it all comes down, though, I really say it depends on you. It comes back down to you. There's no right or wrong way, in my opinion, when it comes to this question. Should you go after buyers first, or should you go after sellers first? I would say the only wrong answer would be to do neither. If anything, you can do both, but don't just do neither, meaning that you just kind of sit on the sidelines and you study, or you want to make sure you don't make a mistake or whatever. It's always important that you get training, you get educated first. But once you get that knowledge and that training and stuff, then you have to go and apply it and take massive action. That's how you're going to get the results where you can be able to go and, do $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 wholesale deals, assignment fees. Ask me how I know. Trust me, guys, you can make that kind of money and more just by assigning contracts. That asset, that contract is an asset. So that's why I'm a little more biased towards going after the sellers first, but I'm not opposed to going after buyers, especially if you have limited funds or resources. All right, so I hope this video has been good to you. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. Just shoot me a private message on Facebook. You can find me on Facebook or Instagram on Ray Mabry. Also, don't forget to like this button, thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Help me grow this channel so I can continue to provide this information, this content. But God, look, we're almost nearing the end of the year. I mean, I know it's been a very challenging year for most people, but we can finish this year strong. So if you're looking to learn how to break into this business and learn how to do this business the correct way, reach out to me. I got some great things in line that I'm working on, some trainings, some consulting. I'm doing some consulting and stuff too. So if you want to learn this business, I've been in this business over 6 years. If you want to learn how to do this business the correct way, and you want to work with me, or you want to allow me to help guide you or show you some things to position you for success, reach out to me, okay? I appreciate you. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. Once again, this is your boy, Ray Mabry, about to sign off. Until next time, peace.